it may not sound like sustainability, this stuff. It may sound like traditional strategic planning. But in fact, that's precisely the issue, that we need the core of sustainability understanding and systems thinking, and then we need to push it through an organization or pull it or coax it in ways that have a slightly different spin from traditional planning. And these tools like this one here, showing, in this case, a broad brush case of trying to do some regional change for an economic development process. Who's doing what and who isn't doing what, and are they very green or not very green? These are the kinds of tools that we're using in order to give people good training experiences and provide them a lot of cross-disciplinary platforms for learning about each other and talking, and constantly trying to improve the coherence in the same way that Marsha and the Axis are trying to do, and really just generate a lot of innovation and acceleration in the process. That's that picture is of, actually, as I recall, that's the government of Latvia making some new decisions about their guidelines for their national development planning. What are the challenges of using this process? Very briefly, well, people can be very resistant to systems thinking. They don't necessarily find it comfortable to look for the linkages between things that they previously have not thought so much about. And they can be resistant to that and resistant to the integration. They may prefer to do something else. They may just prefer to be very simple and do a triple bottom line approach and not think systematically or in any kind of strategic way. And most importantly, I wanted to just note that no matter how good your processes are, you still have to deal with the politics in any organization. And if somebody, high up says, we're just not going to do this, then often that ends the process. So once again, the cultural dimension of working sustainability is just not to be underestimated. And that's why we support it so strongly with the tools that we're producing. And I think that's also why Marsha probably spent some good amount of time on that. Sources of hope? Well, here's one of the opening images from the ISIS agreement, which is the way I think of the world. Anyway, we're in a massively transitioning time, as I mentioned earlier. That little dotted line on the left is all the bad stuff growing and ultimately going to crash, either because we make it go away or because it crashes. And that solid line is all the good stuff that's coming now. And all of these processes that Marsha and I have been talking about and all these ISIS accelerator tools are really designed to accelerate that curve so that we don't fall quite so far down that crash, and that we spend this time of the early part of the 21st century really accelerating the process of transformation to sustainability.